What's up, what's up, what's up? It's your man Chaz Ellis once again, and I'm going to give you 3 signs that you will get played. Sign number 1, undefined relationship. If your relationship isn't defined, it doesn't exist. It's kind of like if you come to my office and I say, you got the job. Only thing is I don't tell you when you start, I don't tell you what you're going to be doing or how much you're going to get paid. That means you don't have a job. You could be ready to get your first paycheck in 2025, which means you don't have a job. So if the situation is undefined, it really doesn't exist. Sign number 2, lopsided giving. When you're giving them everything, you're buying clothes, cars, houses, whatever it is you might be doing, taking them out as expensive dinners, cooking for them, cleaning up after them, everything they ask you to do, everything they might need, and they're doing nothing, you're going to be super invested and they're not. So that means if a conflict does come up, it's going to be a lot easier for them to walk away. Now the opposite could be true. They're giving you everything. They're spending money, they're taking care of you, all of those types of things, requiring nothing of you. When the time comes that they might want to walk away because y'all have a conflict, it may be a lot easier for them because you're the person getting everything and they're not really getting anything out of a relationship anyway. Now they have the upper hand. It depends on the person's intentions. So in a relationship, what you want to make sure you're doing is giving and getting equally. Not necessarily giving and getting the same things, but getting and giving equally. You're giving them what they need, they're giving you what you need. Number 3, premature boundaries. You can't set boundaries when you don't have a relationship. There's a reason why you're not in a relationship, and that's generally because one of you doesn't want to follow boundaries. One of you doesn't want to stay inside the guidelines. So what generally happens is the person who is most invested stays in the boundaries while the other person doesn't. So you end up being upset, arguing, fussing, and fighting, and what generally happens is they end up leaving you for somebody who actually wouldn't be with them until they had a defined relationship. And you either get put in the friend zone, put in the friends with benefits zone, or left out in the cold. Now, just because you're in a situation where these 3 signs exist doesn't mean you have to get played, but it does mean that you will get played if you don't eliminate them. Now that you know them, recognize them and do something about them. Otherwise, you will get played. What's up, what's up, what's up? It's your man Chaz Ellis once again, and I'm going to give you 2 phrases that will stop a player dead in his track. Before I give you these 2 phrases, you got to understand a little bit about a player and how they operate. The major things that a player wants is ego boost and control. Now, before we get all judgmental, you got to understand, people dated other people before they got to you. That means that they've often been played. They've often been treated a certain way and left to feel low and unimportant. Assholes beget more assholes. The reason why they may be treating you how they are treating you is because they've been done that way in the past. Let's keep it real. We all like to do this battle of the sexes things, but there are assholes in both sexes, and they create more assholes, period. All right? So that's what you got to think about first, is that it's about ego and it's about a sense of control. And that's generally coming from the fact that they felt a lack of control in other relationships. So keep that in mind while I'm telling you these 2 phrases. The first phrase you want to hit them with, we're just friends. Now I told you it's about ego, right? So when you say we're just friends, you're putting him in the friend zone. And I don't care what any guy says, there's no greater blow to your ego than being put in the friend zone. Anyone tells you differently is lying. I do consultations for men also. And never once have I had a guy come to me and say, could you please tell me how to get in the friend zone? It's a huge blow to the ego to be put in the friend zone. When a guy is playing this hot and cold game, you know, coming in and coming out of your life, freezing you out and all these kind of things, a lot of times he wants that ego stroke. He wants that ego boost from you. So basically, when he does that whole, "What's up, girl? My bad, I ain't hollered at you in so long." He's expecting you to get upset. He's expecting you to profess your love to him. This way, you're stroking his ego. You're making him feel good about himself. You're making him feel like he's the man. But when you respond with, "Well, we're just friends. I don't need to talk to my friends every day." Now he has a totally different feeling. Because no matter how he wants to try to play it with his ego, he still has to think in the back of his mind, is she putting me in the friend zone? Am I in the friend zone? He's not used to that, especially if you guys have already had sex. No guy is used to having sex with a girl and then being put in the friend zone. That generally just doesn't happen. So when you put them in the friend zone in that way, you're crushing their ego. Now, how does that help you? When you crush someone's ego who's trying to play you, who's looking for an ego boost, they're going to try to get it back. The whole point was to get their ego stroked, and you crushed it. So now they have no choice but to pursue you so that they can get it back. They don't want to end it like, "I was in the friend zone." They want you to love them. They want you to want to be with them. They want you to call them hot and heavy. They want you to text them every 5 minutes. Even if it's anger and, "I hate your guts. I hope you die." They still want that feeling. They still want to know that you care about them. By putting them in the friend zone the way you did, you hurt their ego and told them, "No, you're not so important. I'm not sitting by the phone waiting on your call. If you never call me, it really doesn't matter because you're just a friend." And you say, "He's just a friend." That stings. Nobody wants to be put in the friend zone. The next phrase you want to hit them up with, "I just been busy." Now, it's all about control and ego. Control and ego. When somebody wants to feel like they're in control, they do things like pull back, stop calling you. Then they hit you up with that same old, "Long time no see." Now, generally, you're supposed to respond to this by getting upset. "Why haven't you been calling me? Why haven't you been talking to me? What's wrong? What happened to you?" These are the type of things that they're used to hearing. These are the type of phrases that make them feel like they're in control. But when they hit you with that "long time no see," and you say, "Oh, I just been busy." What? That means you weren't talking to them, or you didn't even notice, or you didn't notice that they hadn't been calling you because you thought you weren't calling them. You weren't tripping off of the fact that they weren't calling you. You weren't sitting by the phone. They didn't have any control over your feelings. They didn't have any control over what you've been doing and what you've not been doing. Basically, what you've done is taking your power back. When you say, "I just been busy," it's saying, "I haven't been calling you. I don't know what the heck you're talking about. My bad. I'm sorry." Basically, you're taking that power from them. You're taking the feeling of control because now instead of them thinking, "I haven't been calling you, you've been sitting there waiting by the phone. Yeah, I've one-upped you. Yeah, I'm in control. I got all the power. You're waiting on my call." You're basically saying, "No, I was busy and I'm sorry. My bad." You're swapping it. They're expecting emotion. They're expecting anger. They're expecting sadness. They're expecting hurt. But you're hitting them with indifference. And when you hit somebody with indifference, that means they have no control. People can only control the things that you care about. If you don't care, they have no control over it. So if you were busy and didn't really care if you talked to them or not, guess what? They didn't control the situation. Now you can use these two phrases in all kinds of different ways. Just keep the essence the same. Now I know it's going to be some people that get in the comment section and say, "That's too much work and I don't want to do all of that." Well, you know, hey, if you don't want to work for it, you get what you get. It's also going to be some people that get in the comment section and go, "Well, that little boys and I don't want to deal with that and I don't want to deal with somebody playing me and blah, 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 and it hurts and I don't like that and it's a waste of time." Well, you know, once again, that's how you feel. That's on you. But the reality of the situation is you're going to have to deal with stuff at some point in your life. You're going to have to deal with conflict. Nobody's perfect. You're not going to find some dude that's going to fall out of the sky for you like raindrops and then the rest of your life just be perfect. You never have to deal with insecurities. You never have to deal with somebody's past and the things they've been through. You never have to navigate your way through things. That's the reality of it. Prince Charming doesn't exist. And even if he did, he got some flaws too. All right? And you got to learn how to work your way through people's flaws. Or you're going to either be bitter and alone the rest of your life, or you're going to be clinging to somebody you really don't want because you can control them. What's up, what's up, what's up? It's your man Chaz Ellis once again, and I'm going to show you 3 steps to avoid players. Now before I get started, the first thing you really have to understand is that anybody can play you. You got to keep that in mind. I mean, a nerd can play you. I got hoes in different area codes, baby. So it's not always about the guy as much as it is about what you're willing to accept and what you're in a position to need to accept. So before I get started, I want to make sure you keep that in mind. Number 1, have your own. You gotta have your own thing going on. You gotta have your own friends. You gotta have things that you're gonna be doing throughout the week, on the weekends. You have to occupy your time. You gotta have things that matter to you. Otherwise, you're gonna put up with pretty much anything. If somebody calls you and says, "Hey girl, you want some Netflix and chill?" and you're sitting on the couch eating bonbons, watching Jeopardy, guess what? You're probably gonna say yes. It's just the way it is. But if you have a group of friends and y'all getting ready to go to Vegas, you'll laugh at that person. People will start respecting you more because they know you're not in a position where you have to just put up with anything, where you have to just accept whatever they offer. When you have more to do, you don't have to pretend to be busy. You actually are, and that controls your decision making. Number 2, slow it down. You got to slow it down. You gotta slow it down. A lot of ladies are out here trying to find their husband on the first date. You can't make it about just, "Oh my God, I want to be married." You have to make it about the actual person. If you go into every relationship thinking this has to be a serious relationship, this has to be something real, and you don't even know the person, they have done nothing to get you to want to settle down, they have done nothing to get you to want to be in a real relationship with them, then guess what? They automatically have the upper hand because they're choosing to be with you based on what you're doing for them. You're choosing to be with them based on the fact that you just want to be with somebody, based on the fact that you just want a real relationship. You want a marriage. You want something to be serious. You want a partner for life. Well, guess what? If that's the way you're seeing the world, if that's the way you're basing your relationships, then you're going to be stuck in a situation where you're constantly chasing. Number 3, open up. Some of y'all got your guard up like Floyd Mayweather. You trying to block everything, but you can't be like that. You can't be the type of person that's so closed off that nobody can get to you. You have to be willing to open up. You have to be willing to give, and you have to be willing to receive. If you're not doing that, then you can't develop a serious relationship with somebody, even if they do like you. Guess what? The things that happened to you in the past weren't because you gave. They weren't because you were open. It was because you were open to the wrong person. A lot of times you're open to somebody who really doesn't like you. You're open to somebody who's not interested in you. It goes back to what I talked about in number 2. A lot of times you're so quick to find somebody, so quick to want to get married and want to have a great relationship with somebody that you didn't even think about the person. You didn't vet them at all. And because that didn't work out, you focus on the fact that you opened up. You focus on the fact that you cared about somebody. You focus on everything you gave and everything you did, and you assume that that's why it didn't work out. If somebody cares about you, if they've proven that they want to be with you, that they want to be a part of your life, and that they have the good qualities that you're looking for, when you don't open up, you lose that person. They change their mind. Now they start playing you because guess what? They're not interested in a relationship anymore. A lot of times you squander real relationships that could have worked out because you're holding some stuff from the past. You're so locked up, you're so guarded that you're not letting somebody in and letting somebody get a chance to care about you and love you. And what does that leave? Only the opportunity to play you. Like I said before, anybody can play you. The key is to not put yourself in a position where you're susceptible to being played. If you put yourself in that position, it really doesn't matter how smart you are up here. Your heart, your feelings are going to make you go for a lot of the bull crap. Also, you're going to push away people who are real. So once again, you're not going to have good options and you're going to go for a bunch of the bull crap. So you want to think about these 3 things that I talked about and just basically set yourself up for, no matter who you're dealing with, not having the ability to play you. Hopefully I was able to help you out. Once again, it's your man, Chaz Ellis. Make sure you like and subscribe and share this video with somebody else. Peace.